Okay. Welcome to Let's Talk. We're endeavoring to do a Super Bowl edition today. I think this is the 58th Super Bowl. And we have on the hold on. On the phone line, we have Maida McDonald and sports writer Lynn Jr. You can say hi now, Maida.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 56th Super Bowl edition on this beautiful Sunday, February 13th, 2022.
It is a football weather day. It's sunshiny but chilly. And I know that there are a lot of people that have gotten together their favorite munches. And what have you done so far, Maida?
Oh, I have my baby back ribs that I marinated in Mr. Stubbs marinated sauce. He's a brother that owns and operates a barbecue restaurant out of Austin, Texas. He has a pork, chicken, beef, barbecue sauces, marinade sauces. I did that with macaroni and cheese, baked beans, potato salad, French bread, and then I baked a homemade apple pie. So I'm going to have pie a la mode, which is the apple pie with the ice cream on top.
Oh my goodness.
Lemonade.
Nobody,
That's my dinner for today.
nobody's watching calories over there. We're
No.
we're coming live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let's Talk program has been on the air since 2007. Back then, we started with WTQT Power 106.1 FM radio. And today, we not only broadcast from WTQT, but all their website and also Facebook Live and YouTube. We are proud to have with us Linwood Albert Jr. Say hello to our audience.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope that you're all excited just as I am about today's Super Bowl.
I am excited, although I'm not very much of a football fan. My mom was the football fanatic in the family. But it was first, I want to say hello to our 24/7 praiseradio.com family. We are part of that network, and we're broadcast around the world with the www.247praiseradio.com group. We encourage you to please download the app from your favorite app store so that you can be privy to 24/7 Praise Radio, 24/7, that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we look forward to continuing to bring you news and information that you like from Louisiana Democracy Project, a nonprofit social justice organization founded in 1998. We have been on the battlefield for human rights, civil rights, tenant rights, and the like since that time. We look forward to you becoming a part of our group if you want to work with others to find solutions. God bless you and keep you. We love to have fun on Let's Talk. And so we're endeavoring to, later, we'll tell you about the troubles of the world. But today, we're going to join those who are thinking on the lighter side. And you heard Maida talk about all the stuff that she has prepared for a delicious endeavor. But we're going to listen to, and I think they say that Super Bowl Sunday people spend $48 billion on food. That's billion with a B. But we're gonna let Linwood tell you who's playing and why we might be interested. Linwood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, today is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Rams today in Super Bowl 56. And for everyone who resides in Louisiana, there's a lot of excitement because of the LSU connection between both teams. For the Cincinnati Bengals, it's, the Cincinnati Bengals, you have the quarterback, Joe Burrow, and
Ooh.
for the people that loves the Rams, you got Odell Beckham Jr., who, if you remember, he used to be the wide receiver back in the day for the LSU Tigers. So it's going to be a lot of excitement today for a lot of people because, wow, we all know that down here in the South, football is around here.
That is so true. Now, listen, we're talking Rams and Tigers, and a ram is just a goat, and a Bengal is just a tiger, right? That's real basic. But just to go further basic, what colors are we looking at for the festivities today? What will they be wearing, Linwood? Or Maida probably know them colors.
Oh, I know the colors. I'm going to let Linwood tell you.
Okay. All right.
Yes, indeed.
For the Rams, it's blue and gold, and for the Bengals, it's orange and black.
All right. Now we can identify with that blue and gold. But who are favored, Linwood?
Ma'am?
Who's favored?
Who's favored is the Rams. The Rams are actually favored by 4 points.
Oh, really? Do you
Yeah.
Can you tell us how come? And while you're, about to inform us on why they are the favorites, but not by much. 4 points don't sound like too much because it takes how many points for a touchdown? That's go on.
It's about the betting props. But yeah, a touchdown is worth 7 points. A field goal is worth 3 points. But yeah, I'm not an expert on the betting, but I know it's the equivalent, like they are favored by 4 points, but it don't necessarily mean like the score is 24-20.
Oh, okay. Tell me now. I don't mind everybody knowing that I'm a complete novice. In fact, although I can remember the first Super Bowl, before that time, people participated and got a great deal of enjoyment from the Cotton Bowl and later the Sugar Bowl. And there were a number of bowl games that were played. And when they started with, they're going to be a Super Bowl, I think we still had the American Football League and the National Football League. And my dad, who was not a real football fan, he was more kind of baseball like. I asked him the question, what is a Super Bowl? And he explained to me very briefly that it was going to be the best of the best of the best. And that the best of the best of the best would play against each other. It would be the last bowl game of the season, and that it would crown who would be king of football. Well, I didn't know very much, but I knew, and I must have been maybe, I don't know how old I was. I was in elementary school, but I thought to myself, well, that sounds like a lot of fun if we're going to be seeing the best of the best. And so for me, that's when it all began. And this will be probably the first Super Bowl that me and my mom will not be together, because it's my sister's time with her, and she definitely doesn't know anything about football. So the chances of them, you know, huddling is very, very slim. But Maida, when was your first Super Bowl that you can remember?
Oh, I can tell you, I remember all of the Super Bowls because one thing that I love to do is I love football. So I can look at football 365 days out of the year, Linwood.
Wow.
I am a sports fanatic for football. But I'm going to tell you this, one thing that I'd like to interject, one thing that I love to do is outside of watching the games, I love to log the commercials. Those commercials that we see Super Bowl Sunday are like millions of dollars that these businesses, invest in. So I have my notebook already. I've already logged Super Bowl 56, February 13th, 2022, and I'm going to be logging every commercial that comes on throughout the entire game because those companies, those corporations, businesses, they put a lot. So you asked me about my first on up to this day, I have always looked at the Super Bowl game.
Wow. And take notes on the commercials. I think that's a lot. How about you, Linwood?
Oh yeah, that's very impressive, and you prepare. And in regards to those commercials, yes, they always brag about the Super Bowl commercials and how much money they cost. Even when I was a kid, I always like, well, what's so different about these commercials versus the regular commercials? Because regular commercials cost less, but yeah, those investors, they those companies, they put a lot of money into those commercials because it's all about PR and advertising.
Yeah, and
right.
There's so many
and the support that these corporations give to the Super Bowl. I look at as an investment for me. That hey, Stephanie, might be something one day that we might do for a Super Bowl. Something here in Baton Rouge or however we do it, and we have to go to some of these major corporations, or even if it's just something that we want to do something for our children here, a football camp here in our community, then we could maybe go to some of these major businesses and see how they could seek and support any endeavor that might be a success.
I heard that. Listen, one of the other things that people talk about a lot, which I don't remember with the first Super Bowl, but what they talk about a lot and now is the halftime show. There's so many eyeballs, not only there in the stadium, but also I wonder what that little sound is.
I don't know if that's my phone. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. You might check that out. But the other thing is that there's so many viewers. People like to go out in mass to bars or restaurants where they might have big screen TVs or multiple TVs to watch. And then nowadays, there are those who are watching via even their phones, their computers, the little screens. And of course, there are those who are having guests over who may or may not be family members and many friends in order to have Super Bowl watch parties. But the one thing that in the stadium people are not doing, and that is they are not rushing out to the concession blink You never know what might happen. And of course, I'm sure Maida remembers when Beyonce was on stage and there was almost a blackout, or there was a blackout.
And I think phone, it won't interrupt your show.
Oh, that's okay. Tell us about your most memorable halftime performances that you can think about.
You asking me or you asking Linwood?
I'm asking Maida. We'll go to Linwood last.
Okay.
I was just relating. There was Beyonce. There was I can remember very well the Michael Jackson kept saying this halftime show. It was no way that was within the time period. Time.
I think through COVID was a little bit different than the emphasis that was put on full-fledged performance from whoever the performers were. But I do remember Michael Jackson, the one with his sister Janet, with the media because of how that went. But I thought her performance was very, very good. One thing that I can remember is Whitney Houston singing the anthem, and it was so embellished with the spirit of her captivating the audience to home, to TV. So I would say all of them have really, really been good. And one thing that I like, and I just want to say, really been good. And one thing that I like, and I just want to say, I think it is very versatile. You know, they try to go through the arena of jazz to rock to blues to country. So it captivates audiences in all areas.
No,
just not one. Snoop Dogg and Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, this year is going to be Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Lamar. They're the headliners for the Super Bowl halftime show, and all 5 artists come.
Wow. Now, Linwood, back in my day with high school football, we barely had enough time for both teams to be able to perform at halftime. Do you know what the official amount of time is that they're supposed to have for halftime?
Do I know what?
The official. Oh, listen to you. I can remember them rushing us off I went to Capital Senior High School. And you know what, Linwood? This is the first time you've been on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. But we didn't find out what high school you come from.
Oh, Redemptress High School.
Redemptress. You know, somehow I figured. Now, Redemptress is a private high school, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No, right. Somehow I figured you came from a private school, but God bless you. Look, I came from Capital Senior High, the home of the mighty Red and Gold Lions.
Lions, yep.
And Maida, you tell where you come from.
Southern University Laboratory School, the mighty kids.
So wait, we gotta.
I come from the kittens. Stephanie come from the Lions. We all under the same umbrella.
That's right. But Linwood, what's y'all's mascots? Are you like the Crusaders or something?
Oh, the Wolves.
Wolves. No joke. I never would have guessed that. Now today there are gonna be tigers and goats. But a ram is a goat with horns, right? Yeah, rams. All right. And the rams, the goats are blue and gold. The they are, aren't they? Do you have a favorite? And the Bengals are orange and black.
Right.
My favorite to win the Super Bowl is the Rams.
No joke, because they blue and gold? Because they're the favorite? Because you've been following them since you were a kid? Why? I say why?
Because of the nice little perk, but it's also because of the quarterback and because of Odell Beckham Jr. and their defense is amazing.
All right.
And Matt,
I was going to say, tell us a little bit about Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell Beckham Jr. He's basically a wide receiver, and he started off his career. Obviously, he went to LSU college, and he's basically he's a veteran now because he's been in the NFL for a good little minute. But starting out his career, he was one of the top wide receivers in the NFL, and he basically is known as OBJ.
Oh, that sounds very jazzy. But he's not from Louisiana, is he?
Oh, no.
You said that like everybody know. No, ma'am, he is not. All right, now tell us a little bit.
Yes, he is.
Huh?
It was a little test. Yeah, he is from here.
Oh, okay. All right, very good, very good. Tell us a little bit about those Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals. Wow, this is another interesting thing about the NFL season. This year was the first time that they've played 17 regular season games, because for the most part they've always played 16 games. But this year they played 17 games for the first time, and the Bengals finished the regular season 10-7.
And of the two teams, I mean, playing that many games, you would think that you'd have a lot of dinged up players by the time you come to the end. Which is the healthiest team today?
And that's the thing with football. Yeah, you suffer an injury at any time, even including in practice. And from the last time I checked, the Rams actually have the most injured players.
Now you mentioned.
I'm going to ask a question to you, Linwood.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was there something else that you wanted to say?
You can go on, madam.
Okay. I'm just wanting to find out the connection. I'm going with LA because I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. So I'm going to Los Angeles. And I told those folks out there, don't y'all let the state of Louisiana state of California fall off the map, because y'all out there hootenanny and having a good time, and they just start laughing, and they just said, oh, we're just enjoying everything. But my question to you, Linwood, is what is the connection with Joe Burrow, and then is it the receiver, Chase, last name Chase? I understand that they played together at LSU.
Yes, LSU. Okay.
Go ahead.
The LSU connection with the Cincinnati Bengals includes quarterback Joe Burrow, rookie wide receiver Jamar Chase, and rookie defensive tackle Tyler Shippen.
All right, if you didn't know.
Burrow was instrumental in getting those two players to come and join the Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, the way they just got lucky, actually, because, when you enter the NFL draft, it's based off of the team and the pick that they pick you on. And they just so happen to all get picked by the same team. It's just that Joe Burrow was already in the NFL. And then Jamar Chase and Tyler Shelby, this is their first year in the NFL. So they just all got lucky to end up being on the same team.
Isn't that wonderful? And
Now,
they all going to the Super Bowl together. By way, those two brothers played with LSU. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Omar Chase and Tyler Shelvin played at LSU, and like this is their first year in the NFL. And Joe Burrow was the quarterback at LSU a couple of years ago, and now he's in the NFL.
Now, with those Rams, is their quarterback African American?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No African American quarterbacks representing the Super Bowl this year.
All right. You know, for so long, there were no African American quarterbacks in the NFL, period. So I wonder how much that has changed over the decades.
It's improved, I'll say that, but still we have a long way to go. And the main stereotype that still needs to be broken. It's the type that the African American quarterback isn't intelligent enough to be in the NFL as a quarterback, because we always prove people wrong when it comes to that stereotype.
That is so true. I was in high school. Our class was the first to play, in a segregated Baton Rouge. Our class was the first that played football with white Caucasian schools, and at the time, there were no black schools in Louisiana that had ever beaten any white schools. And the thing was, people were saying that that black kids couldn't play football well enough to beat white schools. And of course, nowadays, I can remember even with basketball, with talk radio, when the basketball coach at LSU recruited the first black players. And folks, in the white community were calling, saying that if they wanted to play basketball, they should go to Southern. That black basketball players should not come to LSU and expect to play on the team. And how different it is now in 2022, where there are very, very few teams of anywhere in the nation, high school, even middle school, and especially college, and of course, nationally in the professional football realm, that do not have black players. It took for the first ones to dispel the myth, and then now you can't hardly find a white player. Linwood, you are so diplomatic. I really enjoy that about you. Kind of laid back. What brought you to the sports arena?
I've always loved sports, and ever since I was a kid, basketball is my number one sport. And I was told, if you can't do what you want to do in life, try to do something related to it. So, hey, if you can't play in the NBA, why not be a sports broadcaster or a sports writer?
That is wonderful.
And the second favorite sport is football.
Oh.
And even like when I was in school and whatnot, I was always underestimated because people go off of like physical appearance, like, man, I could beat you in this, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on, pick me on, who gonna pick me on a football team? And I love to play because I always use my speed to my advantage. And back in the 90s, the popular player was Deion Sanders, because every time he would score a touchdown, he would always do a celebratory dance in the end zone.
They made rules against it. They said that he was deionizing football. the deionization of American football. There were all kinds, of course, I read about stuff. There were all kinds of comments about him bringing in personality to the game.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
what personalities do you think stand out in these two head-to-heads between the Bengals and the Rams?
That's an interesting one there, because honestly, they don't really show much enthusiastic type personalities like back in the day with Prime. Like, I mean, he earned the nickname Prime Time.
Yeah.
But I would say for sure back in the day, because of Odell Beckham Jr., I know for sure. I mean, even like I say, he's up there in age and he's not at the same prime level anymore, but it definitely would be Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay. All right. And what?
Okay, I have two questions, Stephanie. When you finish,
all right.
Finish your question.
Go on, Maida. What you got to say?
Okay. All right. I got a question for you, Linwood. I am interested just to know how many African American quarterbacks do we have in the National AFC Football League? How many coaches might we have in both of those leagues? I know I look at Patrick McCombs, I look at Russell Wilson. I'm not sure of some of the others. Maybe you could just help me out. I know that the brother with Pittsburgh Steelers is a coach. I'm not sure on that, but I mean, just off the top of your head, I was just curious, how many do we have? And then my other question to you would be, what would you say to local high school coaches and our football players that they need to concentrate on going on into entering into the college league if they are able to get an athletic scholarship? What are some of the things that they need to concentrate on?
Wow.
Really, maybe Albert, she think you Google, huh? She think your name Google.
These are just questions that I have written down since we started the program.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right.
But I would definitely say overall, there's not enough African American coaches in the NFL, and actually right now, former NFL coach Brian Flores, he was the coach for the Miami Dolphins. He's actually suing the league for systemic racism and unfair hiring practices, preventing minorities from attaining top-level jobs such as head coaches and general manager positions, because these as they call it, the good old boy league, but a lot of the NFL teams are owned by white men, and at the end of the day, you can make an argument that someone owns their own business. You can't tell them who they can and can't hire, but at the same time, it's all just like in any other regular job. It's about fairness, and you should always hire the most qualified person, not I'm gonna hire so and so just because I'm buddy with him or his wife or whatever. But unfortunately, of course, that's how it is in this world. But still, at the end of the day, I would that shouldn't deter you from trying to achieve your goals. So if you African American coach and you coached at the collegiate level, the high school level, and you earned your stripes, apply for the job, and anything can happen. Same thing with the quarterback. Yes, there's a total of 32 teams in the NFL, and at the beginning of week one of the season, it was a record 10 quarterbacks that started in week one of the season. So out of 32 teams, there was 10 black starting quarterbacks. You got Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. You have Cam Newton from the Patriots before he got traded back to his old team, which was the Carolina Panthers. And then you have Teddy Bridgewater, who most recently played for the Denver Nuggets. You have Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys, Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans, who actually didn't play this season because of the sexual harassment charges that he got going on right now. You got Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs, Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens, Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals, and Dwayne Haskins of the Washington football team, which is now going to be called the Washington Commanders.
What are they going to be called?
Washington Commanders.
Commanders.
So that's going to be separate from the Washington Redskins?
Yes, they eliminated calling them the Washington Redskins because they felt like it was like a racist term. So while they was trying to find a new name for them, they were actually called the Washington football team this whole season. And they just finished voting not too long ago. So starting from next season on, they're going to be known as the Washington Commanders. But this season they were just they was just called the Washington football team.
Well,
they got rid of the Redskins because of the racial tone behind the name.
Yeah.
And a lot of people was kind of making fun of that and joking about it. It's like, wow. So basically, most people actually like the new name.
It doesn't have, what will they be like? Airplane pilots? What does the Commanders? Will they be armies? People? What will be their mascot?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've seen a logo.
Yeah. Infringement there. That might be some infringement. The Commodores might not like that too much.
And then, maybe if they do something where, people could put the name in the pot, if they still trying to make a change on what choice. But the people that are supporting them, looking at the game, those of us as spectators, or those of us that are season book holders, input, and that maybe could help to make the right name.
I think the votes are in. They've decided this time. I'm your host, Stephanie, with Maida McDonald and Linwood Albert Jr. about the Super Bowl. All eyes will, not all eyes, but many, many millions of eyes will be focused on the Bengals and the Rams today at their 5:00 encounter. There has been some talk about the game, the in-person game, as it relates to COVID-19. What have you heard about that, Linwood?
That's one thing that you mentioned, that they haven't really mentioned spoken much about COVID-19 in regards to the Super Bowl. So it's like there's nothing that's preventing anyone. I'm pretty sure they still will be required to wear a mask.
Well, let me fill in a little bit. Because people have been getting their tickets all along. And so one of the things that they have said is that they need to have either the COVID vaccine or proof of a recent test. Yes, the mask will be required when, as far as I have last heard. But the thing that I did not get a clear understanding with was the number of people that will be allowed in the stadium, whether they will be social distancing or did they sell all the tickets they possibly could. So you know, like the Olympics and some other athletic events, they really do not want those events to become super spreaders. Once the variant, the Omicron variant really started to soar, more effort was put out for the season ticket holders and others to realize that they were going to be some strictness in place in order to make sure that it wouldn't become a giant embarrassment that would impede the National Football League in the future. And so it won't be a free for all, just you come and how you are, that there are guidelines in place. And for those who are meeting in their home or at local bars, you know, there is still a situation where inquiries need to be made. That is where people are saying to others, have you been exposed? For those, if you belong to a family that for one reason or another, or has vulnerable members, that you may keep them separated, that the vaccinated, the unvaccinated might be in several different areas, and or that you might decide that you're going to have separate eating, you know, rather than everybody sitting and munching on the sofa. You might break them up and you have some on the sofa, some at the table, some here and there, so that you are together, but that you're not on top of each other for this event. So I'm going to be alone. I don't know about y'all.
I am going to have a few people over, and we're going to be very, very cognizant and very, very conscious on, COVID. I have set up my table where, we'll be distancing those that want to wear masks here in my home. They can, but I don't feel as if I have to have a mask in my home. I don't feel that they need to come in my home with a mask because I've sanitized, I have sprayed the Lysol, I've done everything, to have my home comforted by way of COVID. Anybody, first of all, that's coming, the first question is, have you been vaccinated?
Mm-hmm.
You can't come if you've not been vaccinated. Have you been vaccinated? Have you had your booster? And those are the issues that I have to bring to the forefront. Yeah. If you ain't been vaccinated, excuse my French, you ain't don't have your booster, you can't come. So I'm just trying to take those precautionary measures right now.
I heard that. Well, as I will be having my nachos alone. So in front of the screen. In front of the screen. Half my friends are bookworms that don't participate in any kind of sports. But like Maida said earlier about the wonderful commercials, and I stated about the halftime show, I like the spirit of the atmosphere of the game itself, rather than but it's not gonna be like when the Saints played. I was really invested in who wins. This is going to be like a McKinley Senior High School homecoming. Now, for those of you who are in the rest of the nation and don't know, McKinley Senior High School is the oldest Black school in Baton Rouge. When they come together for homecoming, everybody is having a good time. And at the end of the game, you ask who won, and very seldom does anybody know. They just, the game itself is secondary. Now, of course, Linwood may be aghast at the very thought of folk coming to a game and not paying enough attention to even know who wins. But that's how they roll. Do you have, Linwood, do you have a prediction on the score of today's Super Bowl?
Now that's something I've actually thought about a good bit of times because I feel it's kind of hard to predict because as on any given Sunday. But I know that by the Rams, they're known for their defense, and by this being a lot of the players from the Cincinnati Bengals, for a lot of them, this is their first time playing in the Super Bowl, and they are all professional athletes. They're all used to playing in front of huge audiences. But this ain't a regular football game. This is the big one. So I'm thinking that the score might be 28-21.
Whoa.
With the Rams being the victors.
All right. Let me ask you this. I don't know how it is for other states, but most recently, Louisiana has adopted sports betting, where people can actually bet on sports, and their commercials are so intriguing. I'm not a betting person, period, but they had a commercial on today about, bet $5, and you can win 280. I was like, how's that? What did he say? Like what? $5.
I saw that too, Stephanie. And I said, you know what? I could use the $280, but I just had little red flags on that one.
Yeah. Linwood, what you got to say about that sports betting idea?
Oh man, FanDuel, they're definitely going to make a lot of profits from this. And I'm not a gambler either, but I'm just like the example you gave about how you could place a $5 bet, but look how much you could possibly win. It's not as simple, as easy as you think it is. You gotta play
a whole lot of times, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, and you got to be very accurate. It's not something simple okay,
one team win.
Score and boom. So you got to get a lot of things accurate. You got to guess how many yards do you think that the quarterback's going to throw?
Oh.
How many touchdowns do you think this player is going to score? Because my little brother, he's into it. He man, I know you love basketball, so man, I'm gonna come start asking you some questions for some of these basketball games. And I'm like, let me see what this app looks like. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you got it. Yeah, he was like, and it's also certain things like if it's real obvious, you could actually lose more money than you could gain. Like for example, let's say a 5-year-old playing against a 10-year-old. Who you think gonna win the game? The older person, because they have a height advantage, weight advantage. Well, say the sports bet. If it's a no-brainer that this team is much better, it's like okay, you make a bet for $10, and what? Okay, I just made a bet for $10, but the most I could win is $8.50.
Oh no! You can lose even when you win.
Exactly. But that's the thing. That's the trick about it. They okay, we know this team is way better than this team. So in order for you to actually gain money, you gotta gamble on the less talented team. Of course.
Oh wow.
Because obviously, they do better than the better team, then okay, you earn this. To where Okay, obviously, if I know let's say back in the day in the 90s, where the Chicago betting the Bulls would beat, let's say the Clippers, who was a sad team, versus if I'm gonna place down $50 bet that the Clippers are gonna beat Michael Jordan. It's something to none. But yet, if you were to win that, you would gain a lot more money versus if you'd have bet for the Bulls to win, because most of them, we already know the Bulls gonna win this game.
Well,
Same thing with the Super Bowl and the Rams and the Bengals. Like I say, the Rams are actually a 4-point favorite. So you would have a better chance of gaining more money if you was to bet that the Bengals would win.
all right. Well, that.
Okay, I got a question for you, Linwood.
Yes,
Did you, I think it was either Friday or Saturday, I think it was Friday night. Did you watch the NFL Honors presentation program?
Oh, no, ma'am. I was actually watching something else, but I know that Aaron Rodgers, I know he won the MVP.
Right. And you had Woodleaf or Wood somebody from the Rams that won the Walter Payton award. And then they honored a brother, African American brother out of Atlanta, who is a long-standing Falcons ticket holder, and they honored him. But I did not know if, I just wanted to throw that out. I was flipping my control, and then I ran across this NFL Honors, and they had about 30 players for Walton Payton for the award, and this guy out of the Rams won that award. But they had a lot of good presentations, and African Americans, Joe Burrows won an award. I can't remember the name of the award that he won, but I didn't know if maybe you had an opportunity, to look at that, and it was very interesting.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but the player who won the Walter Payton Award, his name is Andrew Whitworth.
Okay.
Very good. It has been delightful getting with you guys to talk about this historic Super Bowl. I don't know if there's anybody that, if you had asked last year who would be in the Super Bowl this year, that would have picked out the Rams and the Bengals. I know I was like, who, when folks said who would be playing in the Super Bowl. I don't know if you felt the same way, but I'm going to give you all a moment to comment on, were you surprised, or was it, just you weren't surprised at all? All right, we're going to start with you, Maida.
I'm not sure what I need to answer.
What?
Go to Linwood and then come back to me.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
All right, Lynn.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think no one would have ever predicted the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams to be in the Super Bowl. Not even probably the fans of those teams. And this is the first time in NFL history that there's 2 fourth seed teams that made it to the Super Bowl.
And you call them what?
The teams that make it to the
You call them sports seed?
Oh, God, no, fourth seed.
Oh, fourth seed.
Fourth seed. Oh, okay.
Because usually teams that make it to the Super Bowl, it's more a higher ranked team, like whether it's the number 1 seed or the 2nd seed. And this is the first time in NFL history that the 4th seeded team from each conference made it to the Super Bowl. It's never happened before.
Wow. I thought it was kind of odd.
My son was calling, and I was trying to let him know I was
super
on the phone.
duper. So
I am going to be in between the Rams and the Bengals. I'm going for LA because I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. I'm gonna go for Burroughs and Chase and the other little brother from LSU because Louisiana is definitely on the map. So I have a toss-up. Whichever team wins, may the best man win.
All right.
That's all I can say.
We've been having a conversation about the historic Super Bowl, and I think you say 56.
Number 56, yes.
That will be played today, Super Bowl Sunday. No matter how you engage in the game, whether you are physically going to be there, whether you'll be watching on the big screen away from your home, or whether you'll be in your own domicile on a little screen, we hope that you will have a wonderful time, that this will be a memorable occasion, that the food will be terrific, that the Super Bowl halftime will be memorable, and that you will be talking about it not just in days to come, but in weeks to come. And we'll pass the mic for those final comments from Maida and then Linwood. Maida McDonald?
Okay. I'm going to give you your African American wisdom proverb, Linwood, Stephanie, and your listening audience. Some of us are timid. We think we have something to lose. So we don't try for that next hill. And that comes from the words of Maya Angelou. And then your other African American wisdom proverb, Linwood and Stephanie, says, never let pride be principle. Let your accomplishments speak for themselves. And that comes from the words of Morgan Freeman.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ada. And Linwood, your words, parting words.
My parting words will be, never let any setback prevent you from achieving anything in life. The first saying in sports is offense wins games, but defense wins championships. Well, just like in sports, the same thing applies in life. Like whether you're young or old, age is nothing but a number, but that doesn't mean that we don't have setbacks in life. But that doesn't mean that you can't overcome them and accomplish your goals. And a perfect example, since about sports related, would be Matthew Stafford, who is the quarterback of the Rams. He spent most of his career playing for the horrible Detroit Lions, and with no help at all, he never had any success in the NFL postseason. And after mutually agreeing to part ways with the Lions, Stafford was traded in 2021 to the Rams, whom he helped clinch the division title and a Super Bowl appearance in his first season with the team. And so he spent the majority of his career playing with the Detroit Lions, no help at all. In 1 year on a new team, now he's going to be representing his team in the Super Bowl.
That is.
Same thing goes with anything in life. You can accomplish your goals, just never give up.
Amen.
Thank you so much. You guys.
Good show, Stephanie.
We want to encourage our chatters to remember to be nice and Sunday. Till next time, be blessed.
Be blessed.
Amen.
See you later.
Bye-bye.